Emanuel Swedenborg, A Journey from Science to Spirituality. Emanuel Swedenborg was an 18th-century Swedish scientist, philosopher, and theologian whose work has had a lasting impact on religious and spiritual thought. Born in 1688, Swedenborg had a distinguished career as a scientist, excelling in fields like engineering, metallurgy, and anatomy. His shift towards spirituality came later in life, after a series of profound spiritual experiences that led him to believe he could communicate with angels, spirits, and other spiritual entities. These experiences prompted him to write extensively about the spiritual realm, most notably in his book Heaven and Hell. Despite living in a time when religious dogma largely dictated people's beliefs, Swedenborg's views were distinctively unconventional. He claimed to have experienced the spiritual world firsthand, traveling through heaven and hell with angelic companions. His experiences led him to believe that he saw the true essence of God, which he described as a divine light. This inspired him to write the book New Christianity, where he outlined his spiritual philosophy, emphasizing that the Bible was filled with metaphors and allegories rather than being a strictly literal text. Swedenborg's approach to spirituality and religion was a radical departure from the prevailing religious thought of his era. In his descriptions of heaven, Swedenborg depicted a world bathed in divine light, where spiritual beings live in harmony within small communities. These heavenly communities, he noted, are characterized by their peacefulness, love, and wisdom. People in heaven have homes and decorations, much like on earth, but their structures reflect their spiritual state. Swedenborg observed that the various directions in heaven, such as east, west, north, and south, are associated with different attributes, and people naturally gravitate towards areas that align with their inner qualities. Each community has teachers and leaders who guide the residents on their spiritual journey. Swedenborg's view of heaven and hell was unique in that he saw them as part of the same spiritual plane, with distinct yet interconnected realms. He described heaven as the central area where God's divine light resides, drawing those who are spiritually inclined towards it. Communities in heaven are formed by people who are drawn to this light, creating a harmonious and peaceful environment. Conversely, hell exists at the periphery, where those who reject the divine light gather. According to Swedenborg, the inhabitants of hell are driven by their own base desires, such as lust, greed, jealousy, hatred, and anger. These individuals create their own dark and gloomy communities, engaging in activities that reflect their desires. While heaven is filled with beauty and harmony, hell is characterized by chaos, suffering, and malice. Despite the apparent dichotomy between heaven and hell, Swedenborg noted that angels seldom intervene in hell, respecting the autonomy of its residents. They only act when someone in hell becomes violent or poses a threat to others. This approach reflects Swedenborg's belief in free will and the idea that spiritual growth and regeneration come from within. He emphasized that those in heaven have gone through a process of regeneration where their hearts are filled with love and they can experience happiness and blessings from the divine light. In the spiritual realm, as described by Emanuel Swedenborg, there is neither space nor time as we understand it in the physical world. Travel within this realm is driven by thought and intention. If you wish to be somewhere, you can simply imagine it, and your spirit will move in that direction. The speed at which you travel is proportional to the intensity of your thought, allowing for rapid movement across the spiritual landscape. Swedenborg also mentioned that the spiritual realm is organized into 3 distinct layers of heaven and hell. Each layer is unique, with its own structure and characteristics, and souls from one layer cannot travel to another. If they do attempt to cross into a different layer, They will find themselves disoriented and unable to perceive anything, as what one can see and experience in the spiritual realm depends on their spiritual level. This separation of layers underscores the diversity and complexity within the spiritual realm. In addition, people in the spiritual realm can manifest in various forms, such as clouds, energy balls, or more traditional human bodies. These forms depend on their spiritual state or level of being. In this context, physical appearance is not bound by age or the constraints of the earthly world. Older souls often regain their youth, while younger souls might mature until they reach an age of around 20. This fluidity in form and appearance allows for a dynamic and evolving spiritual environment where the focus is more on inner qualities and spiritual development than on external attributes. Swedenborg's insights into the spiritual realm are encapsulated in his book Heaven and Hell, which has fascinated readers for centuries. If you found this overview intriguing, there is much more to explore in Swedenborg's works, providing a deeper understanding of his spiritual philosophy and its implications for the human experience. Like and subscribe if you like my content.